Hello, Pewter people. Scott Reynolds here with another Pewter Pulse. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler has reported that the Bucs could have interest in Chargers free agent edge rusher Khalil Mack. Pewter Report heard the same thing last week at the NFL scouting combine in Indianapolis, although that was from a league source and not a Tampa Bay source. Why would Mack, who just turned 34, be a good fit in Todd Bowles' defense? Does he have enough gas left in the tank to really help the Bucs pass rush? That's today's topic on the Pewter Pulse, and I'll get into that in just a minute. But first, a reminder, hit the thumbs up button on this video. Give us a like. Also, leave a comment. I love reading your comments. Doing those two things helps us get in front of more awesome Bucs fans like you, helps us with the YouTube algorithm, and it helps us grow our Pewter Report TV YouTube channel. So thank you very much. Now on to today's Pewter Pulse and why the Bucs sack attack could be a Mack attack in 2025. Khalil Mack is a 10-time Pro Bowler and a future Hall of Famer. He's got 107 and a half career sacks and 32 forced fumbles on his resume. For a team that needs more sacks and a better pass rush from the outside linebacker position, Mack is a guy that can definitely help the Bucs. Mack has averaged 11 sacks per year in his 11-year NFL career, but he's averaged just 9 sacks over the past 6 seasons, and he's only had 1 year with double-digit sacks since 2019. That was in 2023, where he had 17 sacks. Still, 9 sacks would be a welcome sight in Tampa Bay, right? That would be the most sacks any Bucs outside linebacker has had since Shaq Barrett had 10 in 2021. But Mack is coming off a 6-sack season with the Chargers, which is a huge drop-off from his career-high 17-sack season in 2023. So is there any cause for concern that his play is on the decline? Of course there is. But having a future Hall of Famer with a vast amount of experience in the outside linebacker room can greatly impact and elevate the play of younger edge rushers in Tampa Bay like Yaya Diaby, Chris Braswell, Marquise Watts, and Jose Ramirez. Think of all the wisdom and knowledge that Mack could impart on these young Bucs. The key to getting the most out of Mack's final years in the NFL will be to reduce his snap count and rotate him with the Bucs' young pass rushers, especially in the Florida heat and humidity. With past stops in Oakland and Chicago and Los Angeles, Mack has never played in a subtropical climate like Tampa Bay before on a regular basis. Take a look at this chart from Pro Football Focus from last year. Mack was averaging defensive grades in the low 90s and the high 80s through the first 9 weeks of the season. Then he suffered an injury in week 10, and then he faded as the season went on. It was notable that he registered just 1 pressure against the Bucs in a 40-17 loss in week 15. But here's why Mack is worth taking a chance on. The guy is an absolute professional who really hasn't had a down year. Even though he recorded just 6 sacks last year, PFF gave him credit for 9, but those are unofficial. And yet he still had a 90.2 overall grade on defense with a 78.9 pass rush grade due to 52 pressures. Now, I don't think PFF is the holy grail per se, but it is a good indicator and it's a good measuring stick for most instances. And I think they do a pretty good job with edge rushers. I like the fact that Khalil Mack has been the same guy as a Raider, as a Bear, and as a Charger, and he's worth betting on. Mack is a prideful, high-energy, high-effort pro, and that's not going to change. Whether he's been a 3-4 outside linebacker or a 4-3 defensive end, Mack has thrived wherever he's been, and I have no doubt he would adapt well to being a Buccaneer. The fact that Mack is 34 works to the Bucs' advantage in a couple of ways. The first is that he's a short-term investment. If he doesn't pan out in 2025, there will likely be no long-term detriment to the salary cap, like there would be if, say, Tampa Bay were to sign a younger edge rusher like Josh Sweat from Philadelphia, who's 28, to a 4-year deal, and then he wound up being a bust. If you don't think that could happen, just ask the Eagles. They signed Bryce Huff, coming off a 10-sack season with the Jets, to a 4-year deal worth $17 million per year, and he only had 2.5 sacks last year in Philly, and he was a bust. He was a healthy scratch as an inactive player for the Super Bowl. The other advantage to signing a 34-year-old Mack is that he will bring an intense sense of urgency to Tampa Bay. Mack has only made the playoffs 4 times in his illustrious career, and he's yet to win a game in the postseason. This guy is hungry and wants to win. The Bears are the other team reportedly interested in Mack, according to Fowler, but they're further away from being a serious Super Bowl contender than the Bucs are. Mack made $19 million per year with the Chargers, and he's already earned nearly $170 million in his career. I think he's at the stage of his career where he's more interested in winning and having a chance to play in the Super Bowl than necessarily cashing in on another huge contract to the highest bidder. The Chargers would also like to keep Mack, but if they were to offer him, say, $20 million per year, which would be a little bit of a raise from what he got last year, that's the equivalent to the Bucs offering just $17.6 million per year, because there is no state income tax in the state of Florida, and there is a whopping 12% state income tax for millionaires in the tax-crazy state of California. Illinois has a 5% flat state income tax, so $20 million per year in Chicago is the equivalent of $19 million per year in Tampa Bay. So the Bucs have an advantage over a couple of potential suitors for Khalil Mack in free agency. Not only does Todd Bowles want to improve the Bucs' outside pass rush and the ability to rush the passer with the 4-man front this year, he also wants ball hawks, not just defensive backs or linebackers that can create takeaways, but also ball hawks along the defensive line as well. Mack has averaged 3 forced fumbles per season in his career, and he has 3 career interceptions, along with 43 career pass breakups as well, 9 of which came last year in LA, and he had 10 the year before. Those pass breakups either come at the line of scrimmage, batting the ball down as he's rushing the passer, or dropping back in coverage. And if the Bucs were to add Mack to a short 2-year deal, it wouldn't preclude the team from drafting his eventual replacement either, a guy like Boston College's Donovan Eziraku at number 19 in the first round, for example. I would welcome that. Flood the outside linebacker room with Mack, with Eziraku. You pair that with Yaya Diaby and Chris Braswell. That's a pretty good group right there. That's young, has a lot of potential. You got an old guy that can help lead the way and show these young Bucs how to play. Eziraku would be another guy that could come in and learn from a future Hall of Famer, while Mack helps the Bucs sack attack in 2025. Well, folks, you have helped us get to nearly 18,000 subscribers on our Pewter Report TV YouTube channel, so keep it up. If you have not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. It's free. And tell your friends, your Bucs fans that are your friends and your family, tell them about Pewter Report TV. We'd love to have even more Bucs fans become part of our Bucs channel family here at Pewter Report TV. Make sure you follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram at Pewter Report, and visit pewterreport.com for all the free agency and draft coverage you'll need. And I'll be back soon with the new Pewter Pulse.